Hi, and welcome to the channel where we are storytelling and roleplaying in Crusader Kings 3. When we finished the last episode, we just fulfilled a part of a prophecy laid out to us from our Rikskodi, or High Priestess, if you will, Mayor of Munster. She had told us that a king goes to the woods where all roots are understood. And she was referring to these German woods here, where the ancient holy tree Irminsul is, and now we have conquered the lands where that tree is. So that's one part of the prophecy that fulfilled, but we still need to find out what is the exact meaning of this prophecy and what Mayor, fearless maniac, Colchester High Priestess wants with all this. But that's where we left off, and like I said, it's a roleplay and storytelling let's play, so I'm roleplaying in accordance with my king's or my character's personality. I based on his traits and on the storytelling, so that's how we decide what to do and where to go next. And right now we are sending our armies to England to help an ally here. It's really new, or we've been allied with this House Evaling of Södra before, but I recently signed this alliance and they have declared this war now. It involves a lot of people. I think that my brother here in Aquitaine is actually involved on the other side of this, so that is not good, but we should still go and try to help our ally. We try to see to it that I don't actually go beat my own brother. I hope he stays out of it and stays down here. As I went into this alliance rather rashly. I really shouldn't have done that, but what's done is done, and so that's that. And we have to take care of our recently conquered lands here, and here's my son and heir. He's my heir, so I think it's best to keep him at court. He will have to shadow me and learn how to be a king. But what about his the next in line here, Styrkar? I could give him these lands. So I will give him these two chiefdoms and also the jarldom, so he will be the jarl of those bishops here. That should give him a decent position to start his own legacy down here in Westphalen. And he will be my vassal, so I will protect him from outer threats, but I can't do much if any of those Dutch people comes and knocking and wants a piece of his land, but that's just how it is in CK3. And he can find his own wife now, whomever he wants to marry. And let's get going here. Someone is plotting to kill my spy master, and my spy master has found out about it. Let's see if he can find out who's plotting to kill him. Because he's not only my spy master, he's also my food taster and my champion, so he's a boy that I for some reason trust with my life. These are not my brother's armies, looks like, so it should be safe to go beat them down without running the risk of having to face Balder in battle. Essential proposal. Ingridel, she is this distant relative from my mother's house, Lusa. I think that the relation is so distant that it should not play into our decision of whether we should go for this or not, because here my aunt, my mother's sister, and here's my mother's sister's daughter, which is my cousin. Oh, I really lost. I was clicking around and I really lost track of about how we were related, but it somehow goes back to my aunt, my mother's sister. So she is probably the daughter of my cousin. Well, he should know that they are related somehow, but I don't think that it would matter here. So what do I feel about her? Because my father, he was a lustful man. He always went for this. Starkadr, he is not lustful, but on the other hand, he's gluttonous and impatient, so it means that he's a man with appetite, although his inclination is more food than sexual activities like his father, but anyway, and he's also deviant, so there's that to take into consideration. We invited her to our court because she was our mother's house, and we have married her to my spy master, food taster and champion. She is forgiving, fickle and arrogant. She is also strong, warlike courtier and an adequate bargainer. The king here, he probably likes her, and if she comes flirting with us, there's nothing to suggest that he would want her as a lover. There's nothing in the story or in her personality to say that he would be in love with her, but here she comes. She's 22, she's a good-looking girl with a cute cap on her head, so we will go for a distraction for tonight, but nothing more. In my chambers. A shiver of anticipation finds its way up my spine as a knock resounds through the stillness of my chambers. Could it be her? I am greeted by Ingrid smiling confidently, lust playing on her face at last. As her arms envelop me, the fire in my chest bursts into flames, and the rest of the night is spent in a warm and fiery haze. That unlanded sure knows how to please a man, says the king. Good for him. Oh, here's Mayor again. You look tired, my lord, my Master Mayor says. I know the cure for that. It's called East of Indus. What do you say? Shall I start reading? Mayor beckons me to sit down. It is an amusing text. I really need this break. Yeah, the king, he has been listening a lot to Mayor lately. He is, they kind of grew up together. Mayor was in house arrest and he was a little boy when they first met. She is 6 years older than him. And he was a curious boy and he always wanted a learning education. But his father forced him into being a diplomat instead, because he knew he was to be the king, and he knew he had to learn how to deal with people. But he always looked up to Mare as a boy, and he admires her learning, because that's his true passion, learning, whereas most people think Mare's a lunatic. He admires her. She's kind of his role model of sorts. He always thought maybe he even had a childhood crush on her, she being 6 years older than him. This is the story I'm building for them anyway. So he will listen to whatever Mare has to say. So I could have her read from Bodel's heroic sagas. Or I can say she even does different voices for the characters. Or Mare, why don't you tell me about yourself instead? I will go with this last one. It's more fitting for what I just said about him being intrigued by her and wanting to grow closer to her. He tried to befriend her, but he didn't succeed. But now we will go with this. Tell me about yourself, Mare. An unforeseen tragedy. No, Biedga Vovi. Of Vovisamena. My son and heir's wife. She was this quick Sapmi girl, and she died. She was only 28. Was killed during a siege. What siege? Is she... I'll have to take a look at this. Siege. Rest in peace. I hope there are no... Because sometimes when you are away doing war and you think, oh, the war is here and you're focused on this, they sneak an army, they sneak away with an army and siege down your capital. But no, if she might have been visiting one of those courts here where there's internal wars, or maybe she was with us here when we were doing battle when they were sieging this. I really don't know, but it's sad anyway that she died. Maybe I should see about finding another wife for my son here. He already has a lot of children though, so that's good, but... Oh, speaking of, I just saw that Yngling there. Can I... Yeah, he will now become my vassal. Let's do it before someone declares war on him. This House Yngling, they are our oldest rivals, I think. It's from the second episode when they were the Jarls here and raided our lands. And since then we have obviously come out on top of this. But let's... King Starkadr here, and obviously Jarl Ununder too sees this as a thing of the past. It was a thing between my father and his grandfather. And now it's time to end this and invite them into the warm embrace of our kingdom here. We hold the Kingdom of Sweden, Kingdom of Norway and the Kingdom of Frisia. And they will be a part of the Kingdom of Norway. But as long as we hold all king titles ourselves, it will say the Kingdom of Sweden. It will probably split up in pieces when Starkadr dies and his sons inherit, but for now it's a united kingdom here. And not this united kingdom, but this united kingdom. And yeah, I was gonna take a look if I could find him a wife. Yeah, let's marry him to Tuari Itkunen here. She is a quick woman, a servant of Freya. As I open my eyes in the dark, I am immediately overwhelmed by an ominous feeling. Is someone watching me? Are you ready to embrace the truth, Starkadr? I sit up, suddenly completely awake. I look around for the source of the unfamiliar woman's voice, but there are only shadows. Freya offers you her blessing. Will you accept it? This is intriguing. Oh, so I can become a witch. I suppose to spend 100 piety. I really want to go with this witch thing, and it would fit. It would fit into my into the part with Mare. It really would go against being a cynical though, but let's... I will go for what is fun here for the storytelling rather than him being a cynical. Let's say he's a gluttonous and impatient man, and he's a curious man, so he wants to see what happens when he becomes a witch here. He will accept this. I rather suspect that this is Mare behind all this. That would explain a lot, wouldn't it? If you've been following the storytelling, you know what I'm talking about. With all my heart. So I am now a witch. What does that mean? I've been a witch before when I played, but I think he's recently... But let's do this then. Let's go for determine personal deity. Go for devotee of Odin. This character's favorite god is Odin, a god of war, sorcery, death and poetry. So he will go for this. No, I lost Einar, my court physician. Search for a physician. Yeah, let's do that. Someone wants to declare Ulfkell, my son, a needing. The unwashed masses calls for nothing less than a declaration of needing, casting him out. I could have used and abused this, because I have so many sons that the inheritance will be really be a problem, because they will pick apart the realm to pieces when I die. So I could have used this to banish him. But the king, why would he do this? He doesn't have any reason to believe that his peasant rabble are right about his son being a needing. So I can say this isn't a matter for the king, but no, I will go with peasants. Ulfkell is blameless. I will defend my son. it will decrease the popular opinion of me in Västergötland, but those peasants, they should really leave my son alone. And here I have Torun. She is an experienced, astute intellectual with high learning who wants to be court physician. And then there's Iliana, who is not really good at the job, so let's appoint Torun. Here stands my firstborn son and heir, Askel, and my other son, Frey, my court tutor. Let's see what they want. So my son Askel is livid because I honored Frey with a position as court tutor. He has no. This always happens. I think this event happens too often. I mean, it's nothing wrong with the event. It's just that every time I go into the court position menu and appoint someone, this event comes along, and I suppose it's alright, but I never really go for it because, well, if I had a king with a personality that said that he was inclined to give people what they want just because they come complaining, then maybe, but generally if you are the ruler and you make a decision, you're not going to change that just because someone comes along and says, "Oh, it's unfair." No, come off it. Maybe I should see about voting for another heir than this whiny weasel of a son. I mean, this is in itself is not enough for me to change my vote from him to someone else as the heir. But it's if it continues down this line, then, and it says here, I grow closer to forming a rivalry with him, and he loses opinion on me, hatred. He's still has a really high opinion on me anyway, but let's see what happens later down the line, because maybe this will mean that I'll have to look for another heir. We sent some forces to siege here, and we're sending our main force to engage the enemy up there. A change in direction from Duoya here, my inspired adventurer. She's meeting with Rodolfo, a wandering evil lackey. A traveler claiming to be employed under my beneficiary Duoya is brought before me carrying a message from the adventurer. Fear not, my great lord, for Duoya is in good health. I bring you news of the possibility to fund an even greater adventure. You see, Duoya took a wrong turn somewhere and is now near Casentino. Duoya's traveling companion unfurls a dirty map to show me where they ended up. She has enough funds to make it to Northern Europe as planned, but suggests that with some additional funding she can chase up on local rumor and bring home a great artifact. So she is in Casentino. That sounds kind of Italian, doesn't it? Yeah, it's down here, near Florence, Firenze, right in the middle of Italy. And when this started, she was in our court. She's a Sapmi woman, so she would have been born further up north than where we are, and she came to my court asking for money to travel to Northern Europe, and now I get the message that she is down here in Italy. So it would seem like she has that she's fooling me. I don't know if the game is actually this clever. If it is, it's funny, but I can suspect that it is not. So I could say this is absurd. I'm not going to fund their self-indulgent outing. Or say life is an adventure, explore that area for artifacts. It will mean that I will spend money, and what she finds might be of a higher quality. Yeah, that's what I suspected. It will cost me more money, but the artifact I gain has a chance of being of high quality. I mean, based on what I said about we being up north, and she's telling me she wants to go even further north, and then sending me a message from Italy. Had it been in real life, it would have been obvious that she was tricking us somehow. But I don't think the game is that clever. So I think that this is just the event running its course without taking into consideration that she and we started far up north from where she is now in Italy, and I really want a better quality relic when she finds one. And the king kind of agrees that life is an adventure, explore the area for artifacts. He himself is a gluttonous man, and he's definitely not greedy, and he has the gold, so what of it if she's tricking us? She's having fun, let her have her fun. We can afford it, right? Expectations. This is my ward, the little Dutch Duke. I can get a hook from him or form a friendship. Yeah, let's go with that. I oftentimes can't be bothered to use hooks. Well, sometimes I do, but I often find it. Most of the time I just forget that the hook mechanic exists. But there definitely come situations where you can use them, but for the most part, no. Yes, I'm trying to befriend Jarl Frey here, Audur's son, because I'm best friends with his mother, and now I am best friends with him as well. That is great. He's starting to make something of his title down there in Holland. That is good for him. What guy comes of age? So he's a fortune builder, that's a good trait. He's also gregarious, content, and compassionate. Kinda like this son. I think I grew up fast. Quick little bastard. Stop running away from me. I will hunt you to the end of the world. Colchester, the clothes thief. I'm glad I am such a small YouTuber with only 20 views that I don't think that anyone will pick up on the fact that there are nipples here. But if you want to spread the word, go and watch a naked cartoon on YouTube. Come to my channel. I saw one one of the real CK3 YouTubers, I don't remember who made a point of having nudity turned off when he was playing because of this, but I don't care if they want. I don't get any money from this anyway. The worst thing that can happen is get cancelled. It probably won't happen, and if it happens, oh well. I'm starting to think that it's a lot of work. It's fun, but it takes a lot of time doing this, uploading to YouTube stuff, because I play for an hour, right, and then I spend 2 hours editing the video, and then 15 minutes uploading it. I'm doing it because I think it's funny, but I'm starting to think about not doing it. But anyway, let's feast on the look of this naked Hulde here. She is of my mother's house, Lusa-kampanjen. She's 51 years old. She's talking to me. Is she naked there as well? Yeah, she is. Let's go for it. As I'm about to retire for the night, a scene of unbelievable hilarity ensues before my eyes. My cousin Huld, naked as the day she was born, chasing my courtier with an axe. "Come here, give me back my clothes or I'll split you in half," Huld screams. "Oh, you'll never catch me. I need your clothes to build my cozy little jester nest," Mary giggles, carrying an armful of stolen clothes. Just what I needed to see, I can say, and lose some stress. And Huld will gain no raiment, which will decrease her prestige, but increase her attraction opinion. Oh, I can say, no matter how fun this is, give her back her clothes. No, I will go with this. Haha, just what I needed to see. Mare needs those clothes for her cozy little jester nest. Good, it looks like I took the king of the Danelaw prisoner in this battle here. which means that my ally should have won this war and he should make peace. Apparently I'm rivals with this man, Count Florence. I don't know why I am, but I often seem to notice that I have prisoners that are my rivals, but I can't remember how we became rivals, but that's how it is. Let's see if he ends this war here. He really should. Come on, end it, yeah. That's good. I helped him. Now, let's stand our armies down. So I can hold court and I can raise runestone, and there's definitely a lot of more things I can do around. We'll have to see about Mayor's prophecy and all those things. How's our brother doing? Oh, he's losing everything again. Because he was in this war. I don't think we met in battle, but... And he's also... I don't think... Neither of those, though, are his wars. He's probably in them because he's allied with the Danelaw here. But still, it's... he would probably have to call us again. So he only has 145 men, so his vassals will probably be looking for... to usurp him. How's my son doing? He... little useless bastard. Did he lose his titles? Yeah, because I put him in charge here. I gave him the jarldom. And now he's not the jarl. He lost all his lands. Does he have claims to them? Yeah, he has claims to them. Which means that somehow this archpriestess Ingthridur the Headless of Westphalen, kindly, astute, intellectual, diligent, greedy, forgiving woman. She has high learning and she is Ancestral and she is Norse. But she has a theocracy here. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. She has 2 Catholics as vassals. They are both stronger than her, so they could rebel. But and nevertheless, it's interesting that, although I would have wanted my son to hold on to it, but if he couldn't hold on to it when I turned my eye and sailed over here to Britain, it would have been a year or something like that since I gave him the title. If he can't hold on to it, then he's not deserving of it. He's a good fighter, but not much, he's not really good at anything else. I mean, I like him, he's my son and he's a Varangian and everything, but... And now it says that he's not in line to inherit anything. Can that be right? Yeah, because if I look at my other son here, he stands to inherit a lot, King Frey here. So, probably when I gave him these lands, the game figured that he had been given enough to satisfy his claims on the inheritance. So now he is more or less disinherited without being disinherited. I suppose that's good development. Maybe I should find him someone to marry. Stilka, my son, shall marry Gryla Grettisdotter of Westerbury. That's alright. There you go, boy. And with that, I think it's time to end this episode here. I will take a look and see what we shall do next. We have a lot of plans, a lot of things in motion, so it's only a matter of picking which way to go, really. I will consider it, and I hope I will see you, well, in the next one. Thank you for watching this, and goodbye.